Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm your host, Marquis McCarty. Welcome to Hunter's Gathering, where today we will be doing a beta playtest of Gods of Metal Ragnarok. So this Kickstarter will be coming around the pike for you, but tonight we're going to give you a little taste of the heavy metal fantasy that you have been craving and have always needed. So for my particular character, my avatar's name is Carthusis Artefakt. So it's foreign. It's foreign. For my Mundania persona, it's Mitty Pressman, a docent at the local science center. And let's go around to everyone else that will be joining in our beta playtest tonight. We're going to start with our GM, Ivan Van Norman. Ivan, can you please introduce yourself and give us a couple of basics with this game, this journey, this exploration into rock self that we're about to have?
I mean, I think you just did it. I don't need to do anything else because you might as well just run this game now, Markia. Like, just land. You know the rules, right? Like, you know how to, play this, this whole process. This is my first time making a game, and this is my first time running a game that I've made on stream. So, let's give this a shot, shall we? And all the glorious Hunter's Gathering kind of attitude around it. We've had a chance to play test with this group before. Even Jason Charles Miller, bless his soul, has gloried his presence into our refined little playtest team at least once. So everyone else is obliged to say that it's awesome. But Jason, what do you think so far? Have you played this once? What did you already talk about this with Markia for the last hour and a half?
Oh, Jason, you're muted right this second.
Oh, he is.
Yes, please tell us about your experience, your character, and in particular, that shirt.
I know. This shirt will be a recurring theme tonight. You might say. Actually, Ivan, we didn't talk about my play experience yet. Do you want me to talk about my character right now too?
Yeah, man. Tell me about Goldthroat. I mean, you laid it up, so set it up.
First of all, my Mundania persona.
Yes.
His name is Steve Simpson.
Yeah.
And he's a barista.
Fuck Steve Simpson. He sounds like an asshole.
I know. He's a barista at Star Clucks.
Star Clucks, yeah.
Chicken-based coffee.
It's perfect.
He hates the job. It sucks. But his avatar in Ragnarock is Golden Throat the Disintegrator.
Yeah. Awesome.
And even though his entire outfit is gold, everything is gold, he's gold. For some reason his name's Golden Throat because that's his weapon. His weapon is his golden throat.
Because he's a howler, right?
Indeed. He is a howler.
That is perfect. With lion pauldrons, if I remember, because as part of a howler, as being a summoner, he brings forth tiny Wonder Cat into the world. So
as you know, he's trying to level up. So rather than summon a giant lion, he'll summon a domestic cat-sized lion.
Like in Adventure Time, how there's tiny Manicore. I imagine this like a tiny lion. Right.
Pretty much it. So. Yeah, for the most part.
Oh well, great. And again, just before I know we're going around, we have this. I'm allowed to banter as long as I want. I'm running this game. But did you have fun? Did you enjoy the last play test that we did?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I really. I don't want to reveal too much, but yeah. I mean, this game is, just it's like I think it will satisfy your hardcore RPG player as well as like someone that's just a fan of the absurd as well. Like it's just absurd enough to sort of bring in more people, and it'll definitely satisfy fans of metal who maybe haven't played a role-playing game before.
Yeah, well, going into it, and some of that's your fault. We've talked about a couple of cool things that we're doing, and you're bringing not only your expertise as a musician and as a music producer into the project as well too, but you brought some other cool folks in who are helping us lock down some serious shit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to lay up too much because ink's not on the paper yet, but all but ink is on the paper for, I would say, 6 out of 12 of the fucking cool things that are coming up right now.
Good,
So
good.
What is butt ink anyway?
It's ink that you have to commit to because you write it with your butt. All
Makes
right.
sense.
It's like that's a contract that is not I just signed it with my hand. That's like a trust because you have to pull trow in order to hold the pen and then sign it. And that's a different level of commitment when it comes to legality than just writing it with your hand. So,
I'm the oldest dad in the party here, so I'm sorry, I had to say it. I apologize. Apologies all around.
No, not at all. Ivan is talking about a specialized skill set that is only unlocked in later levels. So
yes, but
that's just one of those.
He'll get there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Caleb, now you set yourself up. What you got today? What you plan? Who's your Mundanian? Who has freed themselves from the prison of Mundania at the moment?
Yeah. My name's Chad Hunt. I'm a clerk at Cockbluster. Most of you guys have probably
rentals.
Been there. That's it. You've been there before, obviously. Chicken and chicken-based rentals. But when I am in the world of Ragnarock, I am Chanthor, the ever weeping. I use the sadness that my immortal life generates in order to power my base of pain. I'm a shredder. I go very fast, and I keep my enemies far away from me.
Emotional distance. You're an emotional range distance monger. That's going to be pretty common for those of Calamity who choose to go by who choose to pick shredders. So shredders, yes. And we talked about this before, but shredders are the only position in this game that are required to have an instrument in which to focus their magic through. It's instrumental magic. It's all about
speed. Yes.
Well, not always, because remember, positions.
Oh, you're right.
They don't have to necessarily. If your divine tone is Kekatari, then yes, it is all about speed and knowledge and precision and all that kind of stuff. But no, like you said, it's Calamity. That's Chunthor, the ever weeping. Calamity.
I'm sorry. It's all about sadness.
It's all about the deep emotions. Yes,
that's it.
You're saying a lot about tone right now, Ivan. Is there some quick breakdown of tone that you could give us for?
Yeah, I can let everyone know. So here, I'll do a quick, and then we'll get to Glorious Alex as well as Unworthington as well too. So, but
I'm sorry I spoke too much. I'm sad again. I'll mute.
Yeah, keep. All right, cool. So there's 6 tones, which are kind of like the class or the actual if you had other fantasy RPGs TM, you could technically call it the race, right? But there's no race in Ragnarok. There's only the lifestyle of which you hold on to break into. And they're broken down simply as Fenrir, whose domains are earth, muscle, and beasts, who is the power, truly of power. Fenrir is unhinged potential, the spirit of will, preservation, intensity, and tenacity. Kekatari, whose domains are air, knowledge, and speed. Speed demon, the 100-fingered man, the Weedle King. No one is more intuitive, quick-witted, and intelligent than Kekatari. Calamity, whose domains are water, law, and death. And to call Calamity the god of death would be undeserving. They are woe, they are blackness, they are raw emotion, magnetism incarnate. Asnubaba, whose domains are time, madness, and chaos. The world is doomed, and the followers of Asnubaba only care about the beginning and end of all things. Everything else can go to hell. They always come with an agenda. They always find any way to succeed, no matter the cost, as long as it brings the results that come into place. Diomidius, whose domains are glory, fire, and balance. They are the first call, the bringer of the void, the all voice. They are the legend. They are legendarily the first person who made it into Ragnarok and has built this domain to be of their own. People who follow Diomidius are natural leaders. They're explorers. They trek fearlessly into the unknown in order to win the day, energetic and dynamic. And then finally, Shrika, whose domains are soul, charm, and style. Shrika's fantastic. They're magnificent. They're amazing. No one can do better than Shrika as far as Shrika is concerned. They're joyful, exuberant, filled with passion, constantly searching for the next great moment, and want nothing more than to be the lips on the tongue of every mortal imaginable. And those are our tones. These are like our affiliates, the gods in which avatars who come into Ragnarok swear their allegiance to. And if they choose, they can even go and decide to be unaligned and maybe favor a new god. That's up to the realm of the GMs and how they wish to do about it. But these 6 gods are kind of like the primary pantheon inside of the world, which, if I remember correctly, obviously the Ever Weeping picked Asnu Baba, or not Asnu Baba, Calamity as part of Woe and Weeping. Remind me, Markia, remind me what Miss... Wow, I had it in here. Carthusis here. Yes. Yes. What is... Oh, I see it here. Fenrir.
Yes, Fenrir.
You have laid
the
into
only
illusion.
God of tone that anyone should ever bother with
Oh.
pledging their allegiance.
Oh boy.
to.
There we go. Now we're laying into it thick. And Alex, who are you rocking out as today?
Well, first of all, I'm wishing that I had my dual monitor set up still, but so I'm playing in Mundania. I'm Derek Blake, and I am a manager at the Dinky Dairy, which, I mean, it's pretty well known across the country. So I have
Common
to deal
corner
with just,
store.
Yeah, and I have to deal with just every terrible customer you could imagine on a daily basis, and half the time I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Right.
If anyone wants to know where the inspiration for my Mundania personality came from.
That's where it lays in.
But however, when I ascend to Ragnarok, I become Cocksure D, a devoted follower of Calamity alongside my dear bandmate here, and I hold the position of a Blood Guard with him.
Yep, Blood Guard. That's right. The divine. I mean, everyone has to pick a tone as far as what they want affinity to, but these are the guardians of the god, the Blood Guards,
Yes.
for sure. That's awesome. Yeah, Calamity Blood Guard.
I'm here to mock the unworthy.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention. So part of character creation, in which some of these people are starting to maybe learn about right now, is that one of the thing in character creation that ties your avatar to your Mundanian self, that woeful creature that lives on the other side of the terrible prison that is Mundania. The thing that ties them together is their righteous cause. What is the thing that every Mundanian, or at least your Mundanian, hopes to accomplish and then gets to accomplish inside of Ragnarok? So yeah, mock the unworthy. There you go. And then finally, we have, last but not least, the Unworthington.
Yes. My name in Mundania is Doug Worthington. I actually work across the street from Dinky Dairy at Dairy Duchess. They are mortal enemies. And as such, as we jumped into the world of Ragnarok, I am also a Blood Guard to constantly be at odds with Cocksure D. My name is Unworthington. I respect no pain. If you are in pain, you are weak, unless it is coming from Ivan Van Orman. So,
that can be the only respect that is there.
The only respect anybody has is pain that comes from Ivan Van Orman. Otherwise, you need a healer, you need a Blood Guard, and you need to take care of yourself. But if you can't, we'll do it for you.
I love it. And these are our our five avatars who have again come in from the awfulness that is the Mundanian has now decided to bask in the world, or to make their attempt, because the little session we're going to do today, because we're in playtesting, it is always best to start at the bottom and rise your way from the top. We haven't gotten into the Notoriety 10 playtesting yet, so you're coming in all as a bunch of nothings. Greenhorns, freshly in from the Umbral Spiral, which is the great tower that connects Mundania from Ragnarok, in which the Rognu skull, the lead angels, grab these victimized mortals and drag them into avatars in order to test their mettle, literally and figuratively, in the space. So a little bit about, we'll obviously be showcasing the system. You all kind of know how to play a little bit, so I kind of want to explain while we play. But the big thing is that this is going to be an attribute-focused system, and it's a dice pool system, but the dice pools are formed with D4s. So when I ask for an attribute test, I'm asking people to grasp a certain amount of D4s and roll those in order to find the proper results. A 1 result being generating what we're going to call feedback, which we'll get into later, and then a 4 generating a tribute, which is considered a success. So, yeah, I mean, we may as well get into it, right? Because we got shit to play. Yes?
Right. Hey, can I just say one thing, though?
Yeah, please.
I don't know, because I don't know how far along you guys are, but I think there should be a section in the book about all of the crap, like just listing all the crappy places that you can choose to work at in Mundane.
Just an example of just
like
shitty
we're
places.
just the crappiest jobs possible. So I love
Yeah.
it.
No, I agree. In fact, something I was thinking about earlier today, I was like, oh, okay, well, everyone's picked like these really kind of crappy low income, like sandwich artist or clerk or science docent. But it's like in the world of Mundania, like you hate your life in Mundania. That's just what it comes down to. Like, you don't like it. So there is every reason for like an executive at some kind of soulless company. They could totally be an avatar in this world. Like it does, like how much money you make does not reflect who your mundane is. It's just how miserable you are, you know. So that's the great equalizer is misery in mundane. So, right? Yeah.
I'll go on record with saying some of the most miserable times I had was when I worked at a science center. Therefore, that's why
I think
Mitty Pressman works at a science
docent.
center.
See, I like to think that that's one of the fun things about creating your Mundanian character is everyone gets to pour a little bit of their worst job into whoever their Mundanius character. Actually, I'm writing that down. Money does not determine eligibility to be a avatar. You can be poor or a executive at a soulless corporation. All as long as you're miserable, you can find your way to Ragnarok.
If everyone in the chat wants to play along, just let us know what your most miserable job was.
Yeah, for sure.
Must know your most miserable jobs. The most miserable things you work at, please.
I'm a VP at a broker dealer.
Yep. That's, I mean,
I make
I'll tell
7 figures a year. I would give it all up in order to play.
As long as Caleb isn't like, I'm art director at
at a small game company. Because I was thinking about that too. It's like, man, I would hate for like someone to, you know, be the job that someone had their Munkini, but it's so individualized. Like everything is different and just dealing with it. So
you can find misery everywhere in any job.
That's true. Just find misery. And for me, I'll straight up and say when I was a marketing manager at a homeopathic skincare company. So,
oh man,
you know,
there's some really good ones coming through.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah, nice.
I'm actually going to turn my light on a little bit because the sun is setting and thus the darkness comes. So
the light hates
in the meantime, then it's like one that was like a runner-up was telemarketing for nonprofits, like for donations.
Oh, yeah, it's rough. Yeah.
Where it's just like somebody already donated, so then you call them the next year to be like, hey, so you donated this, if you'd like to renew, type of a thing.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a bad 3 months.
Yeah. I think I lasted 2 days in a call center for an insurance company. 2 days. And I just, even though I had like less than $50 in my account to my name, it still was not worth it. So to stay there. So yeah. Well, then in that circumstance, as everyone's laying out, I'm already seeing a ton of them. It's like servers who do serve bottomless mimosas, operators at an answering service, meat factory, bookstore clerk. It just depends on the bookstore for me on that one. Like it just depends on where
I
you're
will say on the record, I've always tipped really well for bottomless mimosa servers, and I've loved everything that you do.
Yep.
So there are people out there that love you. And
there are people out there who enjoy that, who just get into it.
I have the feeling that chat is full of probable avatars. I feel like this is...
my worst job ever was working for a moving company. You
Yeah.
know how like when you help your friend move, like
Yeah.
you're like, God, I don't ever want to do this again. Imagine doing that 5 days a week.
Every day, probably like multiple jobs a day as well.
Oh yeah,
too.
sometimes.
So
that's a hard pass.
Yeah.
No kidding.
I mean, good way to either get ripped or get injured real fast. So
no, I could just him saying that made my knees ache, my back ache. I don't even want to think about it.
Right. Okay. So for our little romp through Ragnarok at the moment, like I said, we have Unworthington, Goldthroat, Cocksure D, Carthusis, and then I'm missing one more, and that is Chunthor. Yes, Chunthor, the ever weeping.
Stop making fun of me.
Well,
no, please do it. It actually just fuels my magic.
Don't make him cry too much. He'll start to look like me.
It's bleeding down. I know. And also doing Hulk Hogan voice is not obligatory for playing Gods of Metal Ragnarok as well, too. It's just a choice. So
I mean, you absolutely can if you want to, though.
Absolutely. So your little session is going to start today. Off of a gig lead. So you are very fresh inside Ragnarok, like I talked about. Some of you took a whim on going with this this manager who was called Ratatat. So Ratatat discovered you guys when you were all coming into the Speakers of the Dead, which is this arena, and they host Meat Grinder, which is this festival for new avatars who might be coming in order to test their mettle against some very low level or like easy to find monsters, as well as kind of pitting them band against band to see, to get attention from various booking managers and other people who might be interested to try to help them tour around Ragnarok in order to find monsters and find loot and find treasures to explore the wilds of this place. And Ratatat found you guys really quickly because one of your band members basically scooped up a Securitar, which was this like centaur that is made of plated metal, and it's an automaton that helps protect this arena, and found you guys. But then that one individual who like got the attention of Ratatat ended up getting headhunted by another manager and went off to go start another different adventuring group, kind of leaving you five with Ratatat and feeling a little bitter because his one star member decided to go move off and deal with it in another way. So and Ratatat's domain primarily is dealing with the land of ice and snow, which are these large sets of like vertical mountains, which are different from horizontal mountains. I'll get to that later. But these huge set of snowy mountains that are home of like various worms like WYRMS, these deep scaly underground dragons. They're more like leviathans though, as they tunnel through the kind of porous mountains, but as well as like frost trolls, white shriekers, and a lot of other just nasty things that kind of around. And a lot of the small villages and communities around the foothills of the land of the ice and snow, because there's no better way to like deal with the heat of Ragnarok than to go up into the mountains and bring back snow in order to make some fucking sick ass slushies, right? Yes, Magdalene 17, horizontals mean land. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. But
thank you, Magdalene.
But you have been essentially tasked with escort detail Like there are a bunch of ice workers in an ice mine that are working on chipping away these huge blocks of ice to bring down into the foothill of the valleys, or into the valley, so to speak. And they need regular guard detail, but it sucks because it's fucking cold up there and you don't get to do anything most of the time because you're just hanging out. So really, frankly, you guys got the shit end of the stick. Like you're basically booking bottom line work in order to this bottom line guard duty in order to get into it. But that's the work that's up there right now. So and to be fair, at least you're doing it in Ragnarok, which is kind of where we are at the moment. So your little story ostensibly starts with you guys trudging up into the mountains along a well-worn path that's laid out with various trail marker posts that have been stuck in with colored flags into it. Most of them have been shredded by the wind at this point, but their color is still fairly vibrant, making it easy to see in kind of the whiteout environment as you're trudging up into the mountainscape. And you can see that there's a hollowed out glacier in front of you that's several hundreds of feet higher than what the opening that's created about it. But even the opening itself, as you get closer and closer to it, seems to be 30-40 feet tall, widened out into just like a big mouse hole that's in the side of this mountaintop. And you kind of see that there is some cart lines, that there is at least a cart that's being pulled by this miserable looking beast of burden, this like long snouted kind of antler or anteater like face creature that's on two very powerful hind legs and two kind of like stubbier kangaroo paws, that's kind of just like loping and trudging through the ice leading into it. And there is clearly a guard up at the front who greets you up there, goes, the new shift's here, huh? Oh God, you guys are, did they tell you it was going to be cold up here? You're looking all a little underdressed for the occasion.
They said it would be
Carthusis
cool
steps
up here.
Yeah, it's cool. No, it's definitely cool. It's very cold.
Carthusis steps up and goes, "If you feel the cold, the rock inside is not hot enough."
Yeah, no, good. I'm glad to see they brought in some new people up here. That's great. Okay, well, here's the deal. Stand out here. If any frost trolls come, kill them. Deal?
Seems simple enough.
Fine.
Great. All right.
Fire burns within all of us.
Oh man, I love it when they bring the new ones in. You kind of watches as he turns around and kind of slunks over this huge bladder that kind of like sloshes onto his back as he walks over to a roaring fire that's inside of the kind of ass caverns a little bit. He basically chucks it on top of a little like heater rack as he starts to slowly begin to warm it over this giant raging fire. So
I'm going to have words with our manager.
So when he said that this job was going to be the coolest, you think that this is what he meant?
That's exactly what I thought. I mean, this is misrepresentation at the worst.
Chat, yes, it was Ass Cavern. So
the ass
He
cavern.
said ass cavern.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's nice. It's got cheeks.
Yeah.
It's got a little divot like a little widow's peak up at the top of the
Oh
cavern.
my God.
So now you got a giant butt cavern, which means you're all a bunch of butt ice miners.
So do we have to crawl into that ass, or we're just gonna stand outside?
No,
and
you're
watch?
just standing. You're just kind of on the perimeter of that ass, guarding that ass. Is what you're doing.
Or an ass duty. All right, guys.
Carthusis pulls their cape made out of piranhas tighter.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
That's right.
Piranha cape.
Made out of piranhas, and they got wolf boots.
Yeah,
Oh my
well,
God.
at least some warm boots. So the good thing is, like, being an avatar, you are not immune. You are more resilient to extreme elements, being like fucking like avatars of metal, right?
Yeah.
But you're far from immune to the elements. So standing out here is definitely super not fun. And the more you kind of continue to stay out and around here, and depending on what you want to do, if you just want to sit and do your guard duty, or if you want to walk around, do patrols and perimeter checks, whatever the fuck you want to do, this is your job, not mine. You can choose to do so, but prolonged exposure to the cold could potentially damage you when it comes to, particularly muscle related attributes down the road. So
It looks like there are structures within this crevice. I believe we should check out these structures.
Yeah,
Let's
if there's
go
any
between those
ice
cheeks.
trolls out there, we need to get them where they started. Don't let them wait for them to come to us. Let's
It's
go,
good
the
for us to
suckers.
know the land.
so Carthusis, these are structures that you're describing that are outside of the cavern into the ice and cold, right? Or are you talking about structures that are inside of the cave that could be
Are
part
there
of
structures like inside the cave to
there's miners in the cave. There's
windbreakers?
structures. There's structures in there, but I think they're more for the miners than they are. But you have been told that their ice trolls do occasionally burst through the walls when they find a particularly porous piece of rocks that are made by worm tunnels, and they'll like find ways to break through into it. So it's
man.
it's neither there nor there.
Right.
Sucks for
I guess
them. We were told to
Carthusis
wait
looks
outside.
over at Jason. You're a fellow howler. I'm sorry, I forget the name of your
Golden throat.
Golden throat.
Yeah. Yeah. So Carthusis looks over at Golden Throat and is like, "Brother, fellow speaker to nature. Shall we examine these walls to make sure that nothing can punch through into our sacred space?"
I mean, as long as we don't punch through them ourselves and lose the job, I'm fine with that.
Sure, go ahead. Go into the butt cave and look for worms. We're going to hang out here.
All right. So you guys are gonna do a little just a check. Let's
Split the party.
let's split the party.
That's a check. Oh God, is
We're
that splitting the
just
party
walking
already?
in. We're not
Darn it.
splitting the party.
Yeah. So
Right.
do me a favor. Since this was Carthusis's idea a little bit, let's go make a brains check real quick on the inside and just go and you go and investigate, pretend like that you're here doing your job and that things are right. Make a good show for the managers there. So
Okay, so for brains, I'm seeing that I have a 3
Right.
here. I'm just rolling 3 d4.
yeah, so you're rolling 3d4s, and if you slink smooth or legend smithing applies, then you can get a bonus d4 for it. But I think in this circumstance, you're just working off of 3 at the stage. So looking for 1s or 4s.
I will do my best to work legend smithing in as much as possible from here on out, since that is something that I put like all
So-
my stats in.
So let me tell you, and if you want to make adjustments now, you can. But let me tell you specifically what legend smithing does. All
Okay.
right, so that you can decide how you want to apply it. Because I know you want a meta, you want to get those effing dice as much as you possibly can, and I respect you for that. Kind of. Let's do this. So the legend smithing is the art of telling a story bigger, better, and more amazing than anyone else. It's not that you need to get inside, it's that you need to get inside because otherwise the haunted ghost stallion is going to kill the king. All right. So legend smithing is about basically letting people know that there is something way cooler happening here than what is actually happening.
Then thank you for explaining that. I've got it.
Okay.
So
Now shut up
With-
and watch me work.
with Golden Throat in tow, you see Carthusis finds a little outcrop, like it's not a soapbox, but it's just a ridge that they stand on, their wolf boots akimbo. And in Mundania, the Science Center speaks of the digestive tract of predators. This butt cave that is located between these mighty crevices that we now inhabit is like the predator system, that digestive system. We shall go into this and make sure that these gut worms will not take down any of our members. See and feel us now.
All right. Legends, that's fine. That is great. That is wonderful. You kind of see as they're talking, as you're talking, like the ice carvers and the ice miners that are working the caves kind of look up, and you can tell they're listening even though they're still working. You're not the first nor the last avatar who has attempted to try to like find an audience amongst their work, but they're just tired and working. But roll it. Let's see how much of an influence you've had on these people and how much you've inspired Goldthroat to just kill it in this search. So
Okay, so because my brains was 3 and my legend smithing was 3, I rolled 6 dice,
okay.
and I came to a total of 15.
Okay, so rather than 15, we're not
I
doing a
got, I
total
got,
value.
yeah. Are we doing it by
Fours
3?
and ones.
4s and 1s? Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 4s and 1 3.
Okay, so no ones. You just got to,
No
but
ones.
you got 3 4s. So you got 3 tributes, is what you did. All right. So because your notoriety is still pretty small right now, you can obviously use a tribute in order to like tell the legend smithing tale and actually capture like the passion that you're exhibiting into this, so that you're catching the attention of these miners in here who are like, oh yeah, no, I haven't heard that one before. That's good. Yeah, we are. Yeah, I don't want to get eaten by a butt worm.
That is
That's
what
right.
happens.
Yeah.
That is what happens.
Yeah, and they all kind of like shake their hands, like, right, okay. You actually take away the monotony of their work a little bit, and because you got over the 2 anyway, what I would recommend is that you can take your maximum 1 tribute and bank that into your tribute pool, so that maybe Goldthroat can use that when he goes and does his search around, for actuality's sake.
Consider it banked.
Consider it banked. All right. So someone, since I have a feeling this is going to be a reoccurring theme, Carthusis, would you keep track of all the tributes in the tribute pool at the moment?
Absolutely. So we have 1 tribute banked at this point, but there will be more that are tributed or
We'll
banked
see.
later.
All right. Goldthroat, then you get to do the brains check now as you look around and actually see if buttworms are going to make it in here or not.
Well, I got 2 4s and a 1.
2 4 and a 1. Okay, so I'm gonna mark a feedback on your character. Since you got a 1, your escalating failure mechanic is slowly starting to grow. But you got a tribute too, so you can spend that narratively if you want it, or if you want to make that this a little better. Like if you want to do a little better than just succeeding, you could spend tribute from the tribute pool, or you can leave it for a rainy day.
I can spend 1 and bank 1, correct?
You can spend 1 and bank 1 because you generated 1, and then there's because you made 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can spend 1 and bank 1. You can do that.
I'll use 1 and I'll bank 1, and Goldenthroat kind of grumbles to himself, and he's like, "Why do I feel like a gerbil right now?" as he sort of like sulks into the butt cave.
Yeah. Okay. So as you're sulking and looking around inside of, and it's insane because the more you're into it, you can see that they definitely have carved out 2 sides of it. There is 2 voluptuous, definitely butt cheeks that have been carved out of the side of this glacier.
Who
as it
does
slowly.
Voluptuously masculine.
And you kind of are looking around though, and you're seeing, as they're carving through, and you kind of put up and you run your hand along the smooth, icy texture of the side of the glacier, just kind of seeing if maybe there's structural failures at some point inside of it. And a few minutes go by as you're kind of inspecting it, and you actually do tell that there is a very distinct shade of darkness that is much more prolific than the other sides of the wall of the magnificent masculine butt cave. And there's just about, it's small. It's only about 4 or 5 feet wide, but it goes straight up like at least 20 or 30 feet above you. So it's like a sliver of darkness where clearly the ice is much thinner than it would be in other parts. So
I point that out to my compatriot here, to Carthusis, the darkness and the thinness.
Thinness. All right, Carthusis.
Goldenthroat. This appears to be If it is part of nature, it does not seem the nature of what should be here.
That's right. This could be where the worms have hollowed things out, and I think that this could be where they're going to strike.
Carthusis goes up and puts their ear to the thin strip to hear resonation of what's to come.
Right. Well, then in this case, I would like you to actually make a wits check in this circumstance.
Fair enough. How about if I'm very stealthy with it, because I don't want to disturb whatever is going on to it, so I can get like
take
an
your
extra
take
dice
your
in
one
there?
extra dice. Take your one
Okay.
extra dice. You also have remember you have tributes in the tribute pool.
I do. I want to
love
see what I get first before I do a tribute, if that's possible. Is that possible?
Oh well, yeah. You can spend tributes whenever you want in this kind of circumstance. In the skill check when you're not in combat, you can always take tributes from the tribute pool.
Okay, so I got a 4 and then 2 1s.
All right, so we're gonna mark 2 feedback.
I'm gonna use a tribute to take away one of those.
All right, so you're gonna spend 1.
I'm gonna
of your
spend
2.
1. I'm gonna spend 1. Oh, to get rid of both of the feedbacks?
No. You can spend a 1 for 1 at this stage.
I'm gonna spend 1 tribute to get rid of one of those feedbacks. So we have 2 feedbacks and 1 tribute still banked.
Okay, so you've got so you have 2 feedback currently on your character sheet, if I'm hearing you correctly, right?
Oh,
Or you spent 1 to
I
get
was
rid
saying
of.
for the overall.
Oh, I'm sorry. You haven't been in the new of it. We no longer have a feedback pool.
There's
just
only individual feedback now.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Well, in that case, yeah, I will take one of the tributes that I banked, and I will take away one of those feedbacks. So then I only have 1 feedback on my personal character.
And then you have 1 tribute to spend for the narrative success, correct?
Exactly.
Okay. So you put your ears up as slinkly as possible. You kind of do a, can I hear you? As you put your, the cold ice against your ear. And, you've still got your piranha mask on. So your eyes are kind of like getting down a little bit as you press your ear against it. And you can just distinctly hear like the slight rumbling, almost like a phantom earthquake of just something that is beyond the icy ridge that is right there.
Carthusis rock stage whispers over to Golden Throne. Brother, they come.
They are coming. Let us get out of here.
All right. So are you running back to the entrance of the cave? Is that what's going on?
We're letting people know there's going to be a rampage of Beatworms coming.
All right. Rampage of Beatworms. All right. So are you yelling the buttworms are coming as you're kind of like running through the thoroughfare inside of here?
I leave that to Golden Throat because
we're doing the buttworms are coming. The buttworms are coming.
Okay. As you kind of run along, you see everyone who has been working like drops their tools and just starts kind of running towards the front of the cave, like the entrance of the cave, and starts getting close to where the magnificent bonfire is, and starts grabbing like the menial, not mundane, but the denizen weapons that are available in Ragnarock, like spears, rusted up swords, giant sledgehammers, the ones that can wield it. And they start picking up these weapons and they're putting themselves into a small like militia ready to go and standing next to the fire, and they look into the darkened cave, and you can hear at this point kind of a hissing sound that's just very dull inside of the walls of the curvaceous cave of itself, but nothing happens for several long awkward minutes before like the denizens look to you and they kind of look at you and they go motion out towards the black of the cave.
during those awkward minutes, Chunthor turns to Cocksure D and Unworthington and says, "My cat back home has buttworms."
Terrible. Terrible. That's a seriously nice ass, though.
Anyone getting
think
tired
so.
of being surrounded in snow all the time? Should we head inside the ass?
I guess.
Whoa! Wait a minute. They said that there were worms coming out of the
They're
ass.
coming out. They'll be here soon enough.
Our job is to take care of the worms. If you're not ready for the worms, you are unworthy, my friend.
Unworthington, whoa!
We're all ready for the worms. They just stand right here. They're going to be here any minute.
As someone who typically works in an ice cream shop, I'm going to slowly slink my way in because I'm tired of the cold.
Okay, so you're kind of, I mean, you're there anyway as kind of part of the fire, and it is kind of nice, but the fire is not big enough for all of you, and they have definitely pushed you to the front, like you were in the outer ring.
I'm just gesturing. I'm gonna make this a giant grandstand, and I'm just gonna be like, "Yes, you are unworthy," and I'm just gonna slowly make my way towards the fire.
All right,
As if this was my goal from the beginning.
you're unworthy, and then you're just going to go retire by the fire.
Yep.
All right, well, another
Worthington.
Unworthington.
another minute goes by before the foreman of the ice mine walks up to you and goes, "Are you going to take care of that? I mean, that's why we hired you guys, is to take care of things like this, right? Like, I'm losing hours here."
While they're
Losing body
talking,
heat.
I'm gonna have my sword out already, my shrieking sword,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna leave it over the fire.
Okay, it's gonna heat it.
I'm just gonna
heat it over
heat
the
up the
fire.
blade of the blade of the sword.
Okay, it screams. It's like the heat emanating from it. It wails in that I'm being burnt alive
Yeah,
kind of
let's
shriek.
draw out those butt worms. Come on.
All right. Well, as the shrieking sword continues to scream, people are covering their ears, and they just hate. They just don't seem to like it. But nothing has happened. Like, there's still that rumbling is there, and you can feel it now. It's definitely vibrating, but it hasn't escalated. And certainly, like, the rampaging worm that Goldthroat and Carthusis was hoping for, it's like nothing has burst through the walls of I mean, you would have felt it, at least in this circumstance. So they continue to kind of look at you, and like, the foreman's like, "You guys are the worst fucking avatars on the planet. You know that, right? I thought you were all like death and glory and straight into the battle here. And guys," he kind of takes the fingers, and he still has his hands covering his ears. It's like, "That guy's just screaming. What the hell are you doing?
I can't hear you. I can't hear you over the sword. What's the problem?
Just go kill it. Just go kill the thing."
We're allowing the Bjut worms to come out into a harsh environment that they're not used to. We will let the cold fight half the battle, and we shall destroy the other half.
This is our battle strategy.
They kind of look, okay, you need to do this is good, but I want to see some, at this point, I want to see some presence. I want these denizens to be convinced that you guys are doing this.
This is Chunthor's time to shine. All this negative reinforcement, people telling him he sucks. This is exactly what fires him up.
Okay.
So he unslings his bass, throws it in front of him, and he starts the Jaws theme. Dun dun.
Oh,
dun, dun.
so you're.
And
yeah. Okay.
And he looks over at Cocksure D and says, "Are you with me, brother?" Dun.
Oh, the guitar is going to sling around, and I'm going to start picking up the melody parts of the Jaws theme.
Okay. All right. Well,
so Chunthor looks over at Unworthington and Carthusis and Golden Throat, and he says, "The ice and the cold will do half the battle. You will do the second half, and Cocksure D and I will do the third half." and he walks into the cave. Dun 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 dun.
Side
dun,
by
dun,
side.
dun,
All
dun,
right.
Dun, 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 dun,
So
dun.
from what you guys just described to me, this sounds like like you're harmonizing in a way into it. So what I'd love for you both to do is take your tude, because this is totally a tude thing. I want you to both take your tude
Here we
and harmonize it together. And what harmonizing basically means is that you both can roll your attributes, whether it's combat or whether it's a skill check like this, and you can distribute your feedbacks and tributes as if you were one person. So
Love it.
yeah. So go ahead, both of you take your tude, go for it.
I got 2 tribute and no feedback.
Nice. How about you,
1
Chunk
second.
4?
1 second. I got 1 tribute. No feedback.
1 tribute, no feedback. All right. So between the two of you, it sounds like you've got 3 feedback that honestly, like, but since there's 2 of you, you can bank 2 of them if you want and use the other one for a success, or you can use this narratively however you want to basically lure the butt worms out from their cavernous interior into the exterior.
I'm gonna ask Cocksure to take point. Go for
Well,
it, bro.
The deep emotional wailing of the 2 instruments begins to fill the entire inside of the cavern like a cacophony, and begins reverberating off of the ice walls to crush the inner souls of the buttworms and draw them to the noise.
So as you're like screeching and putting this whole, how many did you tribute? 1, or how many did you bank? 1 or 2?
Let's go ahead. Let's drop it all in actually on this. Let's
That's
get
exactly
a
what I was gonna do.
success.
So drop all 3. Okay, so
3.
as you drop it and start getting into this, and you start feeling the resonating part of this cavern, you've all kind of been waiting, but both of you like standing like small small tweeters in the midst of this huge just space, playing this thumping sound. You hear this wailing like as straight from the top of the ceiling where of this glacier, you kind of hear this, and you look above and you see as icicles are dropping down, onto the top of you, and you kind of cover you. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, you put a bunch of successes into this. You kind of stand there continuing to play louder and louder as like icicles drop around you, like just shattering and putting into it, but you don't break stride, nor do you break any kind of a rhythm that you're generating as you're getting closer into there. And this crack just splits all the way down the middle of this giant cavern and just breaks it into the back of the cave, straight down the middle, and then just parts as from the center of the back of the cave, just a giant just worm. It is a dragon in the sense that it's like a reptilian scaled like creature, but it's segmented like an earthworm is, and you can see there's these writhing tentacles that are coming out of small little parts of it, almost like a centipede or a millipede that travels through the tunnels the way that it does, but it just bursts through. Its maw opens, that's then opened by another maw, and then it's opened by a third like just languid tongue that just reaches out and snaps just inches by Cocksure D's face as he just tilts his head ever slightly and watches as the tongue just wraps right by him before it starts to pull back in. All right, now
as the
we're in
closest
combat.
closest person to them, because I'm actually inside the cave, I'm just gonna turn back to Carthusis and Golden Throat and say, "The worms are coming from the butt crack."
They are called Biot worms, sister, because there's a Y in there.
Yeah, there's it's a worm, so
But
so
why?
so let's do a little bit of combat, shall we?
Sorry, chat.
Yes.
This is
Yeah,
the
no,
this is
it just went there and it's never coming back.
this
So
is the most
enjoy.
fun I've had with butt
Enjoy.
jokes in a serious fantasy world that I've ever had. So, super serious fantasy world. So, God, I swear I'm not trying to keep a theme here, Lauren, but I do appreciate that I keep obviously some consistent rhythmic patterns with underground critters in spaces like this. Things move. Things have to move through a cavern, right? What are they going to move with? The tentacles. That's how they do it. All right. So here's
Tons
how
of maws.
tons of moths.
All
Here-
the maws.
Here's how combat works
Little
inside of the
itty bitty tiny
game.
feet.
Just tiny little boots.
Yeah.
We
They're
shall
coming-
reclaim this masculine butt tunnel, sisters.
So what you're going to do is each one of your so in Ragnarok there are only three pieces of gear. When you create your character, you basically create the 3 items that you carry with you through most of the game. So in Ragnarok, basically everything is a legendary weapon, and as you get more loot, you can dump what's called resonance into your weapons in order to level up your legendary weapons, or you can pick up a new sweet weapon and then just dump your old weapon and all of its resonance into it in order to buff up that particular piece of gear as well too. The reason this is important is that each piece of gear has a stat associated with it. Weapons is damage, outfits are your defense, and then your accessories your speed. So that's actually what your initiative is in this circumstance. So I want everyone to take a d10 equal to their outfits or their accessory speed and roll that for me, and we're going to do individual results.
And with this one, we add them together, correct?
No adding.
they're
You're going to use
separate.
individual results. You're going to just keep the individual results the way that they are. So, so if you have a 9 and a 5 or a 9 and a 1, that's what you want to go into here. Let me get my
That's right.
Let me get my notepad out.
Okay,
that
so
I can-
I'm sorry. It's 1d10 plus whatever accessory that we have if it has a speed on it.
No, so if you have a speed stat, you're going to roll. So if it's a 2, you're going to roll 2 d10s. If it's a 1, you're going to roll 1 d10. That kind of a situation.
A speed stat.
Yeah. So it's just the second stat under
Is
your
that the
accessory.
cruising?
That is correct.
Okay.
No, it should be under
under
your
accessory.
gear.
Your third piece
It's
of
the
gear.
we have 3 things: a weapon, an outfit, an accessory, and it's going to be the second thing under accessory.
Yeah, it's under your halogenetic fanny pack.
Okay, got
You
it.
can see there's level
So
and then there's
I'll
speed
roll
and there's
2d10
resonance.
since my speed is 2.
Yeah, 2d10 because your speed is 2. Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Got it.
Not bad.
All right, so let's lay it up. So Carthusis, what do you have?
I have a 6 and a 2, so that
6 and a
equals an
2.
8.
Don't care about the totals, but thank you for letting me know
Oh,
anyway.
okay.
Goldthroat,
I got a 8 and a 1.
8 and a 1. Cockshore,
8 and a 7.
8 and a 7. Unworthington,
I got an 8 and a 6.
an 8 and a 6. And last but not least, Chunfor.
I have a 9.
You have a 9. Okay, great. So we go from top to bottom, which means Chunfor starts first with a 9, if he wishes.
I absolutely do wish.
Okay.
There's a name to my pain, and it is buttworms. Okay, so do I need to? Should I roll for another attack, or should has the worm? Does it have an initiative as well?
The worm does. So the worm, all opponents activate after every single avatar's round. So since there's one monster here, it's technically going to activate up to 5 times.
Okay.
So what will happen though, at least in this circumstance, and I'm happy to tell you, would you like me to tell you how you can spend your action dice to do actions?
That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, let me do so for you by reading my trusty rule book, which is not just a bunch of random words on a manuscript somewhere. Action dice. All right. So you get 2 actions for each action or for each speed dice. I mean, I guess it's going to be tough. I don't think we can call it speed because that's technically Altered Carbon's term for that. But you get 2 actions for every dice that you spend. All right, which means that you can an action can be move and attack, or it can be move, spend a tribute from the tribute pool, move, make a skill check, attack, make a skill check. It can be start a song. You guys don't have notoriety level enough to activate a song, or you can do things like you can. Oh, you know what? Actually, it's not 2. I'm sorry, it's not 2 actions for each dice. You can just pick an action because move and attack is start of its bases, and if you choose not to move or attack, you get some bonuses. So move, attack, spend tributes from the tribute pool in order to activate abilities that you have available. All right. Do a skill check. That's usually used to generate tributes, or start a song. You can also choose to do nothing if you want.
Well, I'm not going to do nothing, but I don't have enough notoriety to begin a song yet. Yes.
No. So songs are when after a party has gained enough notoriety and they've started making songs, they started like doing adventures together. You can actually make songs, but they require tributes from the tribute pool in order to do them. So.
Okay. In that case, what I'd like to do is, well, I'll just start wailing on it from the mouth of the cave.
Because you got a ranged attack, right?
That is correct. I got a ranged attack with my base of pain. It's time to get funky, and immediately he just gets he starts slapping the bass.
Slapping the bass. Are you gonna move?
I get no, I'm gonna stay. There are people in front of me, and I feel comfortable with that.
Okay. So you get 1 because you chose not to move. You do get a free tribute for standing your ground.
Excellent.
All right. So since you're using your ranged weapon, and it's a ranged weapon, you're going to be rolling finesse as an attribute.
Okay. So that is, oh, wow. All right. So that is 7d4.
Oh, geez. That's right.
I have 6 finesse. I'm a shredder. That's what I like to do. And I have a +1.
The +1 is actually already accounted for on yours. Technically your finesse was a 5 since 5 was the max stat. But since you maxed out with Calamity, you got a higher. Although it's funny because
I have higher finesse because I'm sad all the time.
Yes.
So that's it. All right. So my total is going to be 11.
It should just be 6. But then you get that tribute. But you get that tribute for moving, for not moving, right?
Oh,
so
okay.
just roll 64 at the moment.
Okay. Well, that's what I just did that. So I got. Do I count them all, or do I?
Oh, I'm sorry. You rolled it. You were saying 11 was what your total was. No, I'm only interested in 4s and 1s.
Oh, okay. In that case, I got 3 feedback, no tributes.
Okay. 3 feedback.
But you do get an automatic tribute for standing your ground.
Yes, you
do.
That
is correct.
So.
Look at you adding my feedback so I don't have to. Thanks a lot, Ivan.
You're welcome. 3 feedback.
On top of it.
All right. But you do get 1 tribute because you stood your ground, so you can just dump that into damage if you want to. You could use it to activate one of your abilities. Completely up to you. And just for all the chat out there, all the chat for our friend here, Chunthor's abilities that he has available to him is he can upgrade his damage to elemental damage for a single tribute, necrotic. He could use a tribute to do an armor boost on one of his fellow avatars, or he can use it to activate dark vision, basically.
I am going to 3 feedback. Chunthor starts panicking. His sweat starts beading on his made-up brow. He's just like, this is nothing at all like my cat. And immediately he points his he figures that he's going to have to go on the defensive. He points his base towards, let's say, Carthusis, and gives her a base flavored armor boost.
Okay.
That you can feel resonating through her body.
So Carthusis, for your activation, you may have defense 2 for your until it's basically before it's Chunthor's turn again. Did you get that? Carthusis?
I did. I was on mute.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Carthusis feels the wolf boots and the piranha cape like just become feisty and like with this power that seems like it should be a dour power, but it's not. It's
Right.
like there's strength in being there's strength in the dourness. It's like a dark humor.
Carthusis now has bite marks in her shoulders and her knees as,
Exactly.
as they get angry.
Like, now I'm tougher.
Dour power. I love it.
That's awesome.
No, it's just mope, but it's dope.
Well, unfortunately, because we're only level 1, it's the baseline to Poison's Unskinny Bob.
What? Oh, Unskinny Bob.
Oh, no.
It's just one note. We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Now, thanks a lot for that. That's fantastic. Now I have that. Thanks, JCM, for
Sorry, no problem.
that earworm.
It's better than planting a buttworm.
All right. Well, so now the buttworm's going to activate. So this tongue that whipped by Cocksure D is now making its return trip to see if it can basically snatch this stalwart player, this guitar player, as he's keeping the Jaws theme up and running. So I'm going to roll. I'm going to roll basically the dice. Yeah, go ahead.
How sad is it that my character like lost the rhythm to Jaws?
Oh, okay. So here's the thing I'm still working on, and if chat wants to get in there as well too. But when it comes to a very tactical based game like this, I'm still deciding whether or not this is a game in which the GM should roll or not, or if basically because it's a bad guy, they should be able to have some luck whether or not they activate or whether or not they do damage to individuals or not. So there's a little bit of a as a GM, do I roll for enemies and NPCs, or do I find a way in order to make that so it's more of an automated process? So there's a little bit of a luck and chance to what the enemies will do, or at least some choice, but they're just guaranteed to basically get things done for all intents and purposes. So I think in this regard, because I rolled 3 tributes, I'm going to try to be good to Cocksure D and actually just make it a guaranteed thing instead of rolling the terrible damage that I would be doing to him otherwise at this stage.
I mean, no, let's go for it. That way we can show off the first level of stuff that goes on with damage.
Okay, right. Well, then in that case, with 3 tributes, I would be doing I'd be doing 6 damage to you. Right.
Oh, we get to show up all the way up to the 2nd level, I think.
Get all the way up to the 2nd level. And in this circumstance, because your defense is 1, you still get to roll your 1 defense to see if you can negate one of the damage with a 4.
Let's find out. I did not, so
you did not
take
okay.
it all.
Okay, taking it all. Cocksure D is now 6 damage in, but you get an additional tribute, or you get an additional D4 to your rolls, and you get 1 tribute. 1 tribute to all of your performance pools as well too. So in the future as well. This is so not unlike, this is heavily borrowed from 7th Sea, but there's like a bloodied track. As you are taking damage, once you've reached certain stages of how much damage you've received, you get bonuses basically to what you can do. So actually the more you hurt, the cooler you are likely to be pulling shit off. So that you kind of watch as it kind of comes, the tongue comes back and it just grabs you and almost like bends you in half from the back as the whiplash kind of takes you from the waist and cracks you. You can actually feel the bones jar in your spine as you are pulled forward like if you were in a slingshot, but the slingshot was a hot, wet tongue. But now in the initiative order, we have a bunch of 8s. So Goldthroat, Cocksure, and Unworthington all are at 8, which means if you want to, you could harmonize and combine all of your attacks in this initiative round, which has obviously a lot of benefits since the bad guys activate after every round in which an avatar activates, right?
Yeah,
So,
I say we do.
How many
Yeah.
how many tributes do we have in the pool right now?
You have one.
One in the pool. Okay. So if you guys are down, we can have our harmonization, and I can spit out as many feathers as I can, try to cure Cocksure back up to full health, or as close to it as possible, because we're only gonna get one attack. Or we can use it to try to clear out the buttworm as early as possible. So I'm gonna leave it up to Cocksure since he's the one on the verge of death.
death in Ragnarok is banishment forever from this
Forever?
magnificent
Forever?
world.
Or forever?
For
Wait,
forever.
just put you
Forever,
back in the
ever?
game.
Forever.
No,
Yever.
Getting sent back to Mundania is a feedback problem. If you die in Ragnarok, you are dead in Ragnarok.
And
Oh,
your avatar is in Ragnarok, and your Mundanian spirit can never come back to Ragnarok ever again.
Oh.
so you're basically re-rolling a character if you want to play again.
Yeah. I mean, that's about what it is. I mean, or resurrection rules aside, which I haven't figured out yet. I think it's more brutal that you lose your dreams when you lose this game.
Absolutely. You play this game in
Die
hardcore
in the
mode, and you
rock.
do not play at all.
Yeah,
Exactly.
as Nox knows, and he has said in chat, it's rough, but it's metal, baby.
Literally 3 people in this chat are wearing I blame all my pain on Ivan Van Dorman t-shirts. There's a reason.
Yo,
Apropos.
It's there. So what's up?
I think, guys, I think we should try to take this thing down.
All right.
Don't worry about the heal.
In
let's
that case,
let's try
I'm
to
gonna
take this thing out.
I'm gonna take my shrieking sword out of the fire, and I'm just gonna wing splade, start marching my way towards Cocksure. And who was the other one? Golden Throat. Who got the 8?
Me too.
Golden Throat. Yeah. I'm just gonna make my way towards the battle.
Now, do you guys care if I use mine to grab the tribute in the pool to activate my curse ability from my skull chain necklace, as this thing's kind of wrapped around me, kind of just jar the skull into it and send a curse through this thing?
Let's roll,
mind
see
at
what
all.
we get, and then we can split it up since we're harmonizing. We can
True. Might not need to pull that out
we
of
can
the
split them
tribute
however
pool.
we need. Okay, so
But I hear you correctly. Like on the Worthington, you're moving and attacking
Yep.
with your dice, right? Cocksure, sounds like you want to at least activate your ability, right?
Yep. Curse.
Okay. So if you want to curse, then you're just going to roll the attribute against that ability, which I believe for curse is.
I don't know if we
I
had it
think it's
noted on.
2'd. Yeah, let me grab it. From my play test docs, it's my rain test docs. Curse. It is a calamity. No, I'm just going to control find curse. Yes, I know. Wits.
Wits. Okay. Ooh, that's rough. That's fine. We'll make it work.
All right. Yeah, it's a blue guard ability for wits. Great. Then you've got that. And what's Gold Throat doing? Are you attacking 2 with your ranged attack, or?
Yeah, so I've got my microphone, my golden microphone with the sort of brass knuckles that go over it like this, with spikes just sticking out everywhere, golden spikes.
Awesome.
So whatever they play, I will just be harmonizing like a classic metal.
Yeah, it's just keeping it going. Okay.
Over top of it.
All right.
Since I'm fighting with a sword that I've been stoking in fire, can I use my brains instead of my muscles since I was smart enough to increase damage?
No, but your weapon can have elemental damage fire attached to it for this round.
I'm good with that.
They just made rules for elemental damage a couple nights ago.
Thank you.
All right, so it's muscle.
So you're using muscle. Gold Throat's using finesse, and Cocksure is using wits. Roll it up.
I got 1 tribute.
All right.
Got
We
1
all
tribute and 1 feedback.
okay.
I'll mark off that feedback here.
I can. Yeah,
Sorry.
if you want to hold on to it, that is. Remember, you can share it how you
Since-
want because you're harmonizing.
Oh, I have so few feedback right now. I'm willing to take that one.
Okay.
Since for so is it finesse plus?
It's just finesse.
It's just finesse.
Just finesse. Your damage is actually how much damage it does per tribute you spend on it.
Got it. Okay, I got no 4s and no 1s.
You got to wash. Okay, so
All right,
I think I added
Cocksure,
some new
how many
rules to wash.
did you get?
I got 1 tribute and 1 feedback.
Okay, so I got 1 tribute, and then we have 1 in the pool.
Yeah.
What does your ability do?
I don't remember. It's been a while since the last playtest I was in.
So curse, what it does now, to let you know, curse basically curse a single target must not choose to activate or suffer damage.
That's right.
Yeah, each tribute adds an additional round.
So you can stop it from hitting us for X number
Or
of
it'll
rounds.
hurt itself.
How much damage does it
Yeah.
do to itself?
One more time.
How much damage does it do to itself?
It does
Good question.
currently 1 damage per round it does not activate, or per round that it activates. Now, here's the thing, and actually, I'm just having a little bit of a braingasm, or a brain thought. A braingasm is fine too.
He's having a braingasm inside of the butt cave, guys. Just
It's good stuff.
So here's the deal. If you have multiple, if you have multiple tributes to spend on something, every ability has an upgrade. Let me back up. Every ability has upgrades. Okay, so curse, you can upgrade the damage or you can upgrade the duration when you take the ability to keep doing it. Right? Like once your notoriety comes up and you can pick a new ability, you can go from curse 1 to curse 2, and you can choose, do I want to increase damage or duration on the ability, right? I'm thinking that access tributes buy upgrades for the round if you want to do it. So in a world where you have 3 tributes like this, right? You could technically, you have to use 1 to activate it, but you could use those other 2 to upgrade damage and duration. You know, so if you picked up 1 and 1, so if you spent all 3 and you decided to just activate it and then upgrade damage and upgrade duration, what you would do is you'd have 2 damage over 2 rounds from those 3 feedback. Does that make sense? Or you could technically use 1 to activate and then 1 to damage and then 1 to damage again. And then for 1 round, it can choose to activate or suffer 3 damage.
okay, before we choose that, how does the elemental damage work? Since you just came up with
if you use your sword as part of your attack, if you use a tribute to use your weapon, then you are combat. Let me find it. I have to combat elemental damage types.
Thank you, Lauren, for clipping the braingasm in the butt cave.
So fire adds 1 additional damage to the enemy's next activation. So it's very similar to curse in this case. Being on fire is similar to being cursed in this circumstance.
Okay.
It's doing additional damage over duration. So you get to do your damage from using your weapon, but then they also get another damage when they activate.
Okay. So do you want to split it up and have you like stop it from activating?
Yeah.
Or it takes damage, and then I'll use 1 to increase damage when it activates?
Or if it doesn't activate, I mean.
Right, well, on the next activation, it takes damage. So you can hold it off for a round. Otherwise, it takes 2 damage, so you can upgrade for damage. And then if it does activate, it also takes my damage, which is going to take eventually anyway. Plus, it takes the damage now from me attacking it.
This is why JB does playtesting, because he likes to make and break the system.
Yes.
Everyone, thank you so much.
I'm the math guy. Welcome to Hunter's Entertainment.
But you have one other person in here, like Goldthroat put a
Yeah.
tribute into as well too. Are you cool handing over? Well, I guess you got to wash anyway, right? So that's kind of what I need to figure out. Is
And yeah, does the wash have new rules?
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna check that out. But because here's the other deal. Maybe Goldthroat's abilities work in this as well too, because he could summon the taiga, so to speak, as well too, with all of your harmonized tributes as well. So, let me.
Well, Cocksure didn't move, right? Because he's wrapped up. Does he also get a free tribute?
Oh
for
yeah,
that?
that's true.
It's only if you choose to attack. He chose to use his ability.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But since he's not as long as he's doing something. But if it's attacking and not moving, then that's different. Let me see the wash gameplay. Fuck the rules. It's a wash. I don't know if I put anything in there yet. I know we talked about how like it obviously it's no fun to do a wash, and a wash is about as close to like a failure in the game as you can get. Yeah, I'm trying to decide if there's a minimum tribute that's attributed to getting like a wash, or if it's just like, yeah, you just sucked at this time, you just sucked. But that's also 50% of what a single dice roll can happen to as well. So let's do this just for the purposes of laying it out, and because for me, whenever I'm doing game design, it's players first, right? Like whatever is fun, right? Jason, as a player, if you got a wash, which means you got 0 tributes and no successes, what would make you feel better about getting a wash, even if you technically failed that action? Would it be like a free tribute into the tribute pool? You can't activate, but at least you're putting 1 tribute in the tribute pool.
Right,
like
that you can use
that.
next round or something.
Yeah, or that again, anyone can use.
Yeah, I think that's at least it feels like you got something out of the tie, so to speak.
It's like a failure token.
It's a failure token that the whole party can use.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a rule now. So
actually, and can I say something about something earlier, just since we're talking about gameplay for a second?
Yeah.
My feeling is, I think it's better that the GM does roll for the NPCs and for the monsters, only because if this is a game where not only are we appealing to hardcore gamers, we're also appealing to fans of metal,
right,
that aren't as familiar with RPGs, possibly, that it might be better to put more solid rules of rolling into play, even for
copy
the GM.
that. Copy that. Just to kind of like confirm that dice rolling, like get that muscle memory of rolling dice a little bit in, right?
Yeah,
So,
and also, for someone who is less experienced in RPGs, but maybe grew up playing board games or grew up knowing generally what a game is, I think it's better to have a concrete, okay, you're also going to roll.
Copy that. I mean? Yeah, that sounds good. I think I agree with you. Thinking about it more, it's like DM to just roll dice and just see what happens as part of it. It's just mostly about making sure that the monsters have lots of choices to what they can do in a single round. But for your purposes as a wash, you get to put 1 in the tribute pool, and I would say that goes in after this activation. So it's not like Cocksure and Cocksure can use it right now.
Unworthington.
So Unworthington and Cocksure, they can't use it.
I cloned myself. It's okay.
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
When they be able to use it?
They'll be able to use it. They can basically anyone can use it after this activation, but they can't use it for this activation. So
gotcha. Because we're okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, because it's still a failure, right? Even though it's a fail forward, it's still a failure. They can't like get that gimme because you did it. It just basically means that there's still 1 for the next round, for the next activation. And that could be yours, depending on what the die rolls are. So that being said, we got 3 tributes.
Yeah, I like JB's idea then, because with the new one coming into the pool, we might as well go ahead and throw 2 on to me, preventing it from being able to activate, and then JB can take the other 1 to slap in some elemental damage and some regular sword damage.
So we're going to stop it from activating for 1 round, and if it does activate, it takes 2 damage.
Correct.
All right, so it's going to take, so you're putting 2 tributes into the curse, and then 1's going into your sword. What's the damage on your sword?
So the damage on the sword is just 1.
1, okay.
So but I'm also going to give it the fire elemental.
Right. Yeah, it's because you burnt it in the fire.
I'm going to burn the butt worm.
All right, so that's there. And then the curse is now also cursed as well, too, for 2 rounds. So it's got a curse 2 on it. Great. All right. Well, then that's your activation. It's the butt worm's turn. Because it's on fire, it's going to take a damage automatically. It is going to choose to activate because it's a stupid butt worm, and it doesn't care if it's cursed or not. That's a cursed stupid butt worm. and it's still gonna basically make an attack towards. It's still actually got cocksure in its tongue at the moment, so it's actually going to do an attack against you. Actually, no, it's going to hold on to you for the moment. It's still going to hold on. No, it's going to do damage. It's going to try to pull you into its maw. This will suck, but let's do it. Okay. Yeah.
Ooh, I did absorb one of the damage.
You did? Okay,
Yeah.
then you only took 4 damage this round.
Oh, that should kill me.
Is that going to kill you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is fine, because this is the first time that we've had a character death.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do it.
I mean, we've
right?
got tribute.
Yeah, we got it. Well, in fairness, if the group can save me, the group can save me. That's fine. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna stop you guys from doing that.
Right now, I believe.
One more time.
Or we have a 1 or 2 tribute banked.
Yeah.
On how much you use it. One.
But the tributes are usually used to activate abilities or do other things. They're not usually used for like defensive mechanisms.
I have a healing ability.
Save your bandmate with tributes.
I have a healing ability. Can I waste one of my action dice to use it?
So here's the deal. We did talk about a reaction, right?
Yeah.
We did talk about using something in reaction. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. So all of yours is activated, right? And so technically this would go right afterwards. Now you all activated on an 8. Unworthington, your last action dice is on a 6. Let me think about this, because in my brain, like if you wanted to truthfully do a reaction like this in order to make it work, you would have to like spend an action dice that's actually more valuable. Like if you're on initiative 6, you have to spend like an initiative 9 dice in order to do it, right? But you're probably always going to activate beforehand.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't.
I'm on initiative. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Your initiative 9, but you already win with your 1 dice.
So you don't have that die anymore.
So here's what I think. This is fine. This is fun. I kind of like this idea of like burning an action dice to do a reaction, but you can only use it for an ability that has an instant reaction onto it, right? Like you can't do it for something that's on a round or anything like that, but you have to burn that whole dice in order to do it.
I'm cool. I'll do that. It's the difference between cocksure living and dying. So.
Right.
No.
All right. Well, first let's do it. So we didn't even narrate how this last scene went out as well too. So why don't you narrate the whole thing for me, including the saving of Cocksure as he's attempting to be pulled into the maw of the buttworm.
All right. So, first, Cocksure, explain to me how your curse works. What accessory? What does it do?
It's the skull necklace. So it's a skull literally just hanging from a chain around his neck that he just jars the face portion of the skull into the body of the worm and passes the curse onto it.
All right, so here's what I'm thinking. So Cocksure is tentacled up. He's all wrapped up, can't move. Grabs the skull with his teeth and just jams it into the buttworm. As this thing is flailing and angry, I do a stage slide underneath the worm and just stick my sword up very slightly, just enough to slightly singe it and take that 1 damage. But as it happens, you can see the worm just squirming and tightening its grip around Cocksure. So I look back, and with a slight hesitation, because he still takes most of the damage, I just throw one of my wings at him, or one of my feathers, and jab him right in the chest, which, for those of you who don't know, Unworthington has 2 giant metal wings that are not for flying. I have little feathers I can throw off and heal people with. So it's going to have that feather hit right where the skull necklace was, absorb into his body, and just barely keep him alive.
Awesome. All right. Well, you take it, but where are you in the position? Have you been pulled? I feel like even though this thing's pulled into you and you've been healed a little bit, I feel like you've got both of your hands on the jaws of the worm as its tongue is attempting to pull you in. And the only thing that's preventing you from getting inside of this thing's jaw right now is basically you've jammed the keytar like in its mouth so that it technically can't close its mouth on top of your like legendary.
Barred it open.
Right. Yeah, you pried it open for the purposes, and now it's lifting its head up in a wail, attempting to try to find the correct angle to crush you with all of its might. So,
I'm about it.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, then that spent all of Unworthington's, that spent Unworthington's action, which basically takes us to 6. So if Carthusis,
Well, no, we had 7s, don't we?
we
Yeah,
do cocksure.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. What am I saying? I had it right in front of me and I wasn't reading it.
So I need to get myself out of this thing at this point. So I think what I'm going to try to do is, with the keytar kind of jammed into its mouth here, I'm going to start going ahead and rocking a riff on the keytar at the exact same time, and just kind of reverberate it inside the skull of this worm, and kind of just try to like destroy its brain and skull. And yeah.
Okay. So if I hear you're just using an attack then, right? You're literally
Yeah.
just doing a standard
Real
attack.
quick though, could that puts Cocksure at 9 damage. So what is the third ability? The third health ability.
Oh, third health ability. Oh my God, that does. Yeah, let me put it in. Oh, it's got to be awesome. It's got to be like something so cool on death's door. I didn't think I was gonna have to deal with this right now. Let's see.
Sorry, Test the system, Ivan.
Do you know us?
Yeah.
I know. Okay, so you get obviously you get 1 additional tribute. You 1 additional D4 on this roll. You get 1 free tribute, right?
Mhm.
Fuck. Let's do 3 tributes.
Which I just realized that we didn't even use his free tribute from last round either.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
totally
okay.
forgot about
He would have already taken it. Can we just
we just
bank 1 extra one?
No,
No?
we're gonna just doing it because players forget things all the time.
Okay, that's
So,
fine. That's fine.
Additional D4, 1 free tribute, 2 or 3. Chat, what do you think? 2 or 3? If you're like literally 1 hit point left, like on death's door, is it warranting like 1 tribute or is it warranting like 3 tributes? I kind of think 3 because you're literally gonna die. So,
This thing looks
okay.
at Cocksure funny. He's dead. So
The last ditch effort level.
yeah, the last ditch effort level to kind of bring that thing down. I know there's a bit of a delay, but I really am curious as to what people think of. Let's see. Can I pull?
Yes.
Yes, you can. Yeah, I'm gonna just send it so they have to see the delay. Yes, you can pull. Please, help us, chat, because I still need people's help when I don't have defined, well-conceived rules in front of me all the time. So
Decide my fate.
Decide how many effing cool tributes you get on death's door. So let's see who's here.
Decide my fate, knowing it will be your fate one day.
No, and it could be your fate one day. Yeah, this could be
Yeah,
a rule.
if you're lucky, because
Yeah.
that's really close.
If we get 2 subscriptions in the next 5 minutes, you can save his life.
Oh, it's neck and neck though.
We're holding the character's life hostage.
Yeah,
That's it.
I know. There's a whole bunch of us who are hanging out here
Oh,
as well too.
it
But
is
looks
tied.
like it's 50.
Yeah.
Okay, who's gonna take it over? Who's gonna take it over? No one. Alex, you can't vote.
I'm not voting.
I didn't vote.
3 has the lead so far.
Oh, 3 has a lead.
I
He
just
has the
voted. I'm
lead.
sorry.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
know I couldn't vote. I heard that after I voted.
Yeah. No, it's okay. You can vote. You can vote. It looks like it's gonna be 3
Surprised Kia
anyway.
didn't shoot for
I
one.
mean,
Suffer.
take away one of the top votes. And then
That
you
just
have
makes
a
it 50-50
tie?
Yeah,
then.
that would leave it
Yeah, that would
50-50.
make it 50.
I'm
Just leave it.
sorry.
It's okay. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make this decision. We're gonna do 3 tributes. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's just see how awesome this is for you. Because Cocksure, I mean, nothing could be better. It's your activation, and you're on death's door right now. Like there's
I
not,
know.
there's,
It
there's
was
not,
perfect timing.
there's no more hero moment than this right now. Okay. So
All right, so let's start shredding. I'm gonna roll my toot and hope that it does.
are
me
you doing?
well
Are
for
you?
once.
You're doing your attack though, right? So it's finesse for
Oh,
your
finesse.
All I'm saying is
Okay.
if you kill this fucking worm and it dies on top of my body that's exhausted from healing you, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, I'll live with that.
You wouldn't if I didn't heal you.
Yeah. Unworthington might not, but you will.
All right, so we got 1 tribute, 1 feedback, and then I've got my 3 bonus tribute. Oh wait, I forgot my additional D4. Or does the additional D4 get replaced?
No, the
No,
additional
you get all
D4,
of
you
it.
get it. You get all of
Okay.
it.
Stacking
Yeah,
benefits.
stacking.
So would it actually be a
benefits.
total of 4 free tributes?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, that's a
Brilliant.
good point. No, that's actually
it's
good. It should be 2.
one free for every finger when you're rocking out.
No, I think no, I think Alex did make a point here. It really should be 3. By the time you're at death's door, you should have 3 free tributes. 4 is getting a little bit into the redonkadonk
So it should be
territory.
3 total.
It should be
is what
3
you're saying.
total. Yes.
Okay. So, well, hold on now. Hold on, because I haven't got a little crazy happy on my character. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
fix
God.
this.
Oh, I did your feedback rather than your
Yeah,
character.
you took out my feedback loop.
Wah, wah.
All right, so I've got a total with all my bonus stuff. I've got 2 feedback and I've got 4 tribute.
Okay, 2 feedback, 4 tribute. All right, and so you're going to
So-
dump all of that into damage.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
As well, actually, I'll do 3 of the 4 into damage, and then I'm going to use 1 to kick off the emotional elemental damage.
So you're going to upgrade all that damage to emotional damage. Okay. All right. Then I just figured out what emotional elemental damage does. I have to write it down before I forget. It's a chance to stun is what it is. So since you're doing 3 damage elemental, it's got to roll that many damage types in order to activate, you know. Well, that much
Who
damage.
has sad trombone as their weapon? I love it, not always weak. Wah, wah, wah.
I like that we went into redonkadonk territory in the middle of badonkadonk territory.
Never ends.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh,
Not your fault.
the puns.
The next round. Okay. Okay, cool. So you did 3 emotional damage to it.
Yeah.
Striking it into its heart, literally also in its mouth. Okay, and then it's the fire's gone, but I mean you blaze into it and you just push into it as you like try to jam it up into its mouth, and you do feel some of that like soft palate slowly start to give away as it lifts its head back up, like lifting you 10-15 feet up into the air, now swinging its head back and forth as you're going along like the zipper ride of your fucking life, right?
While rocking.
So while like just playing this guitar as much as you can, I mean, and you're hurting it. It definitely is not having a good time. It's now its activation, so it gets to go. You did curse 2 for 1 round, so it's no longer cursed. It no longer has fire damage, but
Didn't quite kill it.
Is it not stunned with the emotional damage?
so here's what's up, right? Okay, with the emotional damage, resonance 3, resonance 2, let's call it. I'm gonna have to roll. So it did 3 emotional damage, so I get to roll 3 dice. If it goes above like the technically like the challenge rating of the monster, so it's not like, you know, you're guaranteed to stun in a crazy amazing beast off of 1 thing, right? So if you get tributes equal to its challenge rating with the emotional damage you've done, then it cannot activate. So basically,
So
1,
what's a
2,
buttworm's
3.
challenge rating?
Buttworm's challenge rating is 2, right? Basically saying, and I haven't decided how that is yet. I'm really just trying to think about, like, I'm kind of doing a little bit of backward game design here. I'm trying to think about, like, do I want just 1 tribute to stun this thing, or do I want it to be worth more than 1 to stun it, right? So I'm thinking at least 2, because it's 3 emotional damage. You know, good chance he'll get 2 tributes on that, right?
Well, I mean, keeping in mind that it gets to activate like every round as opposed to everybody else. So I mean, that's
it does get to activate every single round, which is important. And in that circumstance, it might be easier to just have it be. So how about this? Do me a favor. Let's just see how it goes. Alex, would you roll 3 D4s and see how many 4s you get? If you get 2, then I'm going to say, hell yeah, it's stunned. If you get one, we'll talk about it.
I'll have to convince you.
4, 4, 3.
And you got 2. All right. So you blaze your bass tone into this thing as it's attempting to crunch down onto it, and it starts. Actually, at this point, the emotional damage that you're doing to it is just like frantic fear. It has never been able to put its mouth down on something that it can't eat, and since you did it in the inner segmented jaw, like the other one is trying to like go over its inner jaw over so much, it's actually like trying to get back into it so that it can help it come down, but it's just it's so confused and it's in so much pain and fear right now that it just doesn't even bother doing anything but just lash around, starting whipping against each one of the glacial walls as it's like you're feeling as more ice chunks are starting to crack down. The denizens at this point have ducked and covered and have run out of the mouth of the butt cave in order to not be clashed down with ice upon them at the moment. So yeah, that was rough. It did not activate, so hence Carthusis and Unworthington, you get to go to 6.
Well, I don't get to go, but I am gonna just reach my hand back and be like, Carthusis, you got this.
Like, Carthusis, I mean, the worm's like right there. So Carthusis is just gonna like pull their electric rock flute and while standing their ground, jam it into like through the skin, because I wanna do my damage.
Your war flute as a ranged attack. Yeah, your war flute is a ranged weapon.
I wanna jam it in and then like do the damage, or I guess like do the damage.
Are you trying to
turn the damage into a blast?
Okay,
like that I can do. That's what I want to do.
Are you attempting to also jam your weapon inside of this thing's mouth, because it's flailing around like a beast?
No, that's why I'm saying like, yeah, it's like up here,
right,
with Cockshore, yeah, but its body is basically a long ass throat.
Yeah,
so I'm just gonna like
point right for the throat.
Yeah, boom, and then be like.
Okay, do that. I mean, because again, if you're treating it like a range damage, then go ahead, do the range damage. Like roll at finesse.
I want to put it in its throat and then detonate it inside of it.
Okay, that's cool.
I will do a whole backstory with this to like legend smith this.
That's cool.
At Carthusis.
But it's not a ranged attack. You have a ranged weapon. That would be like saying you wanted to jam your bow.
No.
You want to take the arrow and put it into its throat.
Yeah. Oh, it is a ranged weapon. Balls.
I mean, if you would like to change it to a melee weapon for the purpose of this playtest, you're welcome to.
I will pick up a melee weapon. I will pick up a rock before I change my electric rock flute
into a melee weapon.
Right.
I mean, it could be a cool dagger. That's all I'm saying. But if you're going to keep his range, the only reason I say this.
How about my piranha cape? This is totally outside of the realm of this playtest. I'm just making stuff up at this point.
That's okay, and you're welcome to make stuff up. But since this is combat, like it's not only the rule of cool is there, but we can't make up rules in order to make outfits turn into weapons. But what
go ahead.
What I can tell you though is that there is an ability. So down the road, when your notoriety goes up, you can take an ability that turns your weapon into a melee weapon or a ranged weapon. So your war flute down the road could be both a melee and a ranged weapon, but you have to put either resonance or notoriety into it. You know what I mean? So that's that's kind of where I'm trying to get into it with it. It's like, yes, your war flute is cool, but it's also cool in the way that like Unworthington's wings are cool, but he can't fly with them. Kind of a situation.
Got it. Yeah. Because we're baby rockers right now. We got
your baby rockers, right?
Yeah.
So, but still, because you have the blast ability, you still doing, and then just like sending like a to blow up right into this thing's like giant throat. Still cool. Like still a cool thing.
Because I can't blind it with my ability right now because his head is all the way up there. So that's not happening. So yeah, let's just go ahead and do the ranged damage attack with my electric rock flute.
All right,
Or
finesse.
flute.
Roll it up.
Bless you for
finesse.
bringing that much style into this attack.
Yeah.
Archaea, that was amazing.
Again, yes, totally down for cool rando things. It's just I think the cool rando things come when GM Fiat begins to be a thing, but isn't always the best for playtesting. So
I will say that while Carthusis is doing this, they are definitely regaling of the time.
You can add legend smithing to combat attacks. Yeah,
Fair enough.
you're worse than
Fine.
Fair enough.
JB.
Fine.
You're officially worse than.
Yes, I'm not the worst. Thank you.
Hey,
Hey, there are literally games at Ivan's house I am not allowed to play because I do this math
okay.
stuff. So.
I feel like I can ask and gracefully be like, okay, cool.
You
Which
can always.
is what I just did.
You can always ask. Yes, you can always ask. But legend smithing is a skill, not a combat. So
Okay.
but here's the other part, just to make it clear though, because I do want to make sure the ability of this. Remember, using an action dice to do a skill check like legend smithing in order to dump things into the tribute pool, 100% a viable tactic. You know what I mean?
Cool. Because like depending on if we're in a fight and I've got like a lower action dice, like I had a 6 and a 2. So like we might not get around to my 2. So if I want to like sacrifice that to put more tributes in the pool for the party.
Yeah, or if you wanted to, again, thinking about this, you could use your 6 now to legend smith up a pretty big tribute pool. And then when you get to your 2, if no one else has used everything in the tribute pool, you could use all that for damage.
Except Cocksure will die in that time.
Except
I don't have any healing abilities. Like literally my abilities are like,
You don't have any feeling
I'm gonna
abilities?
blind
Is
this
that what you said?
dude. I'm gonna blast them. I'm gonna blow them up.
Yeah, you're the
You know,
healer,
I'm
JB.
gonna serenade them as I stand over their corpse.
I'm the healer, but I'm tapped out. I can't heal you. It is all her. So she got to either kill it now or you're gone.
I'm gonna need to make some healing potions, I think, in this game, or the equivalent of healing potions. So, you know.
Yeah, like I'm more than willing to like take feedback to like visit Mundania to like come back, you know, power strong. But this is just like right now. I got 2 4s and a 3.
Okay, so you got 2 tribute, which you can use to dump straight into damage if you'd like to.
Yes. In fact, there is a tribute that we have also banked.
So
I'm
you use
gonna
that one too.
I'm gonna take that. We're doing 3 tributes worth of damage.
Okay, so what's your
Into the yes
weapon's damage rating?
Well, you know, baby rocker.
So 1. Okay.
Yeah.
So you do 3 damage. 1, 2,
But
3.
I turn the damage into a blast of 15 feet in diameter, and that's concentrated into its gullet.
Okay, so you basically use the tribute, and you put it into this war flute. You kind of like, and you watch as it just like a bead of
But
just
like
fire.
rock.
All right, and then you just kind of watch as this bead comes out of your war flute and then explodes like a fireball against this thing's segmented body, just as it kind of heats up, and you kind of watch as steam just kind of like comes across on the ice, just the breaking ice that's around it. Like you've basically made a steam bath now inside of this this giant butt cavern that you're all
Could
in.
there be an environmental damage to like kind of trap it a little bit? Maybe
Super cute if you
What-
thought about that beforehand, but no
I should
post-mortem
have thought
elemental
I should have
damage.
thought of that before. I gracefully bow out.
All right. Well, the good news is well, actually, good bad news depending on how you look at it. Buttworm gets to go now.
Buttworm's not dead.
Buttworm's not dead. No, Buttworm is not dead.
Brutal.
R.I.P. Cocksure.
Yeah.
It's
It was great rocking with y'all.
but it still can't close its mouth on it. But I think it's going to use its feedback ability. It's actually going to pull all of the feedback out of Cocksure. Is what it's going to do. Yeah, that's what I think it's going to do. So how much feedback do you have at the moment?
I have 2 right now.
You have 2? Okay, cool. So take both of those away.
All right.
And then it's going to roll its damage, but not against you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, well, it doesn't matter anyway because it didn't do anything. So it
Okay.
rolled
Sounds
0
like-
successes, but it still stole your feedback in order to do this ability. And just for transparency's sake, what would have done is that it would have taken both of your feedback in order to upgrade its next attack to acid damage, is what it would have done.
Ooh,
So
that's
you know.
brutal.
So Cocksure lives.
So Cocksure
For
lives
now.
because it whiffed its attack is what it did. Which guess what? Carthusis with 1 or with 2 now left can go before.
Oh, two. Yeah, I got my 2. Oh, good. Yeah. All right. So for this, we're gonna try to do some environmental damage to like trap it.
She's like,
so
damn it,
it
Ivan,
can't
I got you this time. I
activate."
got you first.
I'm following the rules.
So you want to try to bring some of the
Fuck the
wall down?
rules.
You want to
Yeah,
take some
because
of the ceiling
I
down?
don't want it to activate again. I want to give us a round of breather, so that's what I'm aiming for. If it's something that I can't do, that's fine.
That's
I'll-
cool. No, actually, that's great. If you just want to say, I want to like shoot the wall down to try to disable it for a round, yeah, you can. If you get tributes on that, it's still going to be an attack against, you're still going to make an attack. But if you make the attack and you have tributes to spend on it, like, let's just see how it goes. Like I think with at least a tribute, you can stun it for a round. You won't do damage to it, but you could at least not activate it. If you do more than tribute, you could probably do damage to it.
Wait, hold on, real
Alright.
quick. Didn't Golden Throat? Didn't you have 2 dice?
Golden Throat has 1. He's the last one that gets to go.
Yeah, I rolled a 1.
Got it.
Okay, so
I'm waiting.
this is
Patiently
still
waiting.
a
So
finesse.
patient.
This is still a finesse, and I have 3 on that.
Yeah, finesse.
A 3, and a 4.
3 and 3 and a
Got
4.
1 tribute.
Okay.
1 tribute to stun.
To stun. Okay, so yeah, narrate it for me.
Okay, so after all of you have seen like Carthusis and their galaxy printed onesie with their wolf boots, like do this like rock ballad, like against the throats, like thrumming this Bietworm, you see that like the resonating effect still progresses out with like the outlying circular structure of this canal shaped cave, and you see
You can just say sphincter. That's fine.
it contracts around the Bietworm, just like it's like this pile of ice rubble that's like embracing it, and you even hear
Man,
the
you're trying to
worm
pinch
go,
it. Yeah, you're just trying to pinch it out is what you're trying to do. I see
Oh my
I see what's
God.
going
Just trying
on.
to cut a rope.
All right. Well, so you basically kind of feel as it kind of like, as it's again lifting its head in its crushing pain now, just as it's continuing to flail around and now attempts to like slam itself down into it. But again, the sheer fear and pain of the claustrophobia and the crushing pain it's in, it doesn't make any additional attacks for this round, which leads to last but not least, Cocksure.
Nope,
Go throat. Go throat.
Everyone
got,
on this
Goldthroat?
party is just cocksure. So
All right. I mean,
bring it home.
it's been so long. I don't even know like what's going on.
You got the that's actually something I got to think about, because the fact that you had 2 dice and you basically rolled like an 8 and a 1, you couldn't have been farther away from your activations as far as things go. That's good to know.
I mean, just remember, typically you're not going to spend 30 minutes rewriting the rules while you're in combat. So
Right.
Yeah, that's, true,
That's
too.
fair.
Combat will go a little bit quicker.
Bring it home, sibling.
bring out the house.
If I use my disintegration ability?
So yeah, so if you want to just activate the ability, you can pull straight from the tribute pool, right?
Okay.
Or you can activate whatever the stat is for disintegration. So as Calamity, I believe it's Calamity who has disintegration. No, as Nubaba has
As Nubaba.
disintegration. So it's a wits roll. But you need at least 2 tributes. This is the one that I'm like, okay, this is a higher base cost. You need at least 2 tributes in order to activate the ability, in order to do necrotic damage.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, does the group care if I grab 2?
Do we have any in the pool?
I don't think we have any
Oh!
food in our pool right now.
I think Carthusis used it all for
Okay.
her war flute.
Damn it.
That's fair. Okay.
If I used it all, it was
So-
like 1 that was left in there, and I took that one.
Then I will just do my regular mic attack.
Which will be finesse.
Finesse. So, fingers crossed. Yeah. I did get 1 4. I got a 4 and a 2.
4 and a 2.
Yay.
Okay. So, are you going to use that straight for damage?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. And the damage for it is 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So you're going to slap another damage against this thing as it just continues to just suffer more insult to injury as it's just like thrown across it. You can definitely see like you've carved a hole into it, and it is not looking good right now for this buttworm. It is having a very tough time in this stage. So it's going to use its last activation for this round to basically make an attack against Carthusis.
Bring it.
It's whipping one of its little millipede style tentacles, and it's going to wrap around you. Feel free to
damage is strong.
make a. I think I actually made a decision about saving throws at this point. I'm trying to decide.
Because I know that Caleb's character gave me some extra defense.
Oh yeah, but up until his next round. So since he only activated
he
once.
hasn't gone again yet.
Oh, he hasn't gone again.
Nope.
Yeah, so you still have it.
So I'm still.
But this
You still have
ability is
one extra bit of armor.
This ability is a bind ability, actually, though.
Ooh,
This
okay.
is what it is. So it's going to
Right.
it's going to attempt to wrap itself around you.
What do I roll?
And I think what I want is for you to roll finesse. And I think if you get two
finesse, I've got like a 5 and 2 and 4 in presence, and like
Cool.
finesse, like 3.
finesse and muscle are big combat attributes. Surprise.
Good to know.
You know?
Very good to know.
Yeah. But then with a lot of abilities, things like wits, brains, presence, and tude are all important.
Yeah, and then legend smithing.
And legend smithing's good for banking shit. Just banking stuff all day long.
Legend
You're the
smithing,
banker.
when you want that worm to not die but go back to its family
Right.
and tell them the story that happened.
2 4s and a 3.
Okay, so what this thing does is it basically uses its ability to kind of like wrap around you, but it attempts to take its like millipede style form, and it attempts to like crush around you, but you duck under it and basically give it a time as it whips kind of around.
I have siblings. I know this move.
As it kind of comes around, it was almost like a passive thought for it because it's still trying to get cocksure out of its mouth at the moment. As believe it or not, we're going into
Could you say
another
that one
round
more
of
time,
combat.
please?
We're in another round of combat, so everyone roll their action dice again. So,
Oh my god.
yeah.
All the jokes this battle.
That made this whole thing worth it. I mean, that was fantastic.
I'm trying to see if I can angle this at the camera. I'm super. I just don't want the dice to tip. Oh god.
Are 10s zeros or are
They're-
they
no,
10?
they're 10s,
They're 10s.
and I just got 2 of them.
Oh, I got a
What?
10 and a 3.
So
Okay. Well, let me go through it so that I have everyone's breakdown in here. So, all right. So Carthusis, 10 and what?
10 and a 3.
Okay, Gold Throat,
1 and a 3.
1 and a 3. Cocksure,
9 and a 6.
9 and a 6. And Unworthington,
double 10s.
double 10s. And Chunthor,
7.
7. All right. Well, I have no idea what to do with double 10s because normally the harmonizing for multiple ones, but if you've rolled 2 of the same number on a d10s, I don't know how to reward that.
Can you say that he could pick who he wants to harmonize with?
Well, I mean, he technically can
You
harmonize.
harmonize everyone who gets a 0.
So here's a way to do it. I got this. Yo. I got this. So if you've got 2 of the same number, then you can activate your second number of the same number. So say if 7 and 7, so you can activate on a 7, obviously with all the other 7s. But if you've got that other 7, you can activate with any number from 7 on downward, whatever you want. So in the case of you and Worthington, so you got 10 and a 10, you get to harmonize with Carthusis for this first round with 10, but that second 10 you can harmonize with anyone down the waterfall. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna write that
That's
in.
pretty great.
While you decide what the hell to do with that.
Just narratively, nothing to do with combat whatsoever. How's this worm looking? Is it looking like it's close to death? Or?
Oh, it's awful. It's so beat up. It's so mad. It's still thrashing its head around, but it's bloodied. It's looking really fucking beat up.
It's beat up. I'm beat up.
That's one beat up bloody bloodworm.
All right, so
Sorry.
our options are either just fucking end this thing, or
Let's resonate. Let's harmonize.
yeah.
Let's
So
Send it.
do this. Let's
Kill
do this.
it.
What do I roll?
So if you're both doing ranged attacks,
I'm melee.
you're melee. So if you're doing a melee and a ranged attack, you're rolling your finesse, Carthusis, and you're rolling your muscle, Unworthington, and that's what it is.
You want to give it a little blast to the face while I gut it?
Yes. You're like, yeah. It's like, prepare for damage. Better make it double. Prepare for trouble. Better make it double.
Not sponsored by Pokemon.
Not licensed by the Pokemon Company.
Oh no.
Meow.
That's not a good sound.
I shouldn't have made the Team Rocket joke.
It wasn't very metal of you, so now you get to pay
It
for
really
it.
wasn't. The gods were not happy with me. I got 2 3s and a 1.
Okay, so put your feedback. Take your feedback.
Yeah.
I got 2 4s and a 1.
And okay, so 2 4s and a 1. So put your feedback in, and are you just dumping it all into damage on Worthington?
So what are my options? Can I use an ability or no?
Yeah, you can use an ability.
Fuck it, I'm doing 2 damage.
You're doing 2 damage.
Yep.
Okay, then why don't you narrate its grisly demise for me?
Yes.
So I'm gonna be real gentle with the first part of the damage. Is I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna look over because I'm on the ground. I did my stage slide. I'm like worn out. I reach over, I pick up the screeching sword, and I said, "It's your time." And then I just gently place it between like 2 segments to put it inside of the worm, and then I just flick the sword as hard as I can, so it makes it sing from inside to erupt the damage outwards.
All right, so you kind of watch as you split this thing into the center, and as it starts to resonate like a tuning fork,
Yeah.
it shrieks, and you watch as like a geyser of guts just blow out the back of the worm as it sprays gore across the back of the wall, and you slide the sword out to kind of look at this 6-foot diameter hole inside of this segmented creature as it like in its continued flailing, it like death spasms and writhes again. But because there's only so much extraneous mass at the end of each of like your blown out hole, it just kind of rips like wet tissue paper as it just slides down and tumbles into itself, just black cocksure out of its mouth, rolling in saliva and like light digestive acid as your like trench coat spills out with your keytar in hand, and everything's starting to sizzle on you as you kind of are steam is coming out of you from hot saliva and
You're not
bit of
killing him
acid.
anyway, are you?
No,
good.
it's
Good.
just-
The worm is dead, but so are you.
Just enough
Ivan has
acid.
to kill players.
Just enough acid to be annoying.
Alex, take 1d4 narrative damage.
As you kind of watch this thing, and then you start to hear the cheering of the denizens behind you as they start like lifting they still have their weapons, by the way, but they're just kind of like lifting their spears and their rusty swords, and they're just cheering after seeing Cocksure get up and dust off gunk off of him as you pull your singing sword out. And this thing is laid out, double maw, just broken in front of it. It's dead. Oh, it's dead.
All right, I'm gonna stand up, and I'm gonna look at the denizens all holding their weapons, and I'm saying, "Why do you even own those? None of you are worthy." And then I'm just gonna take my sword and just sling it over my shoulder and just literally just jaunt back to the rest of the team and say, so that was fun.
You kind of watch as the foreman kind of rushes by you, and now after the cheering's done and you've kind of said this thing, the denizens now are rushing by you as they start chopping and cutting up this butt worm and just like starting to just dissect it like a bunch of worker ants over this corpse as they just start cutting pieces of it up at the moment.
Take it into the caverns, feed it to their denizen queen.
Eat your butt meat, peasants.
Yeah, but they start carving it up and they start taking it over to the fire and start putting it on roasted spits and start like cooking it together. And the foreman comes over and he goes, I didn't know about your guy there for a second, but that was pretty fucking cool. No one usually comes in here and deals with these giant frost worms all the time.
What are you talking about? Cocksure? Cocksure can survive anything. He's seen 6 Karens in one day, and if that's enough for him, this is nothing.
I get it, man. I get it. It's cool. He's got 6 Karens. That's awesome. That's anyway. I mean, that was pretty solid, is all I have to say. I'll make sure to put in a good word over with our manager down there to let him know that you guys really fucking killed it up here. One thing though, I should probably tell you, you killed the head, but if you could use your cool flaming sword and stuff to help chop it up a bit more, because if you leave it here for a few days, it kind of just starts to make another one, if you don't mind.
We shall definitely use all of our combined experiences on this worm. We'll take it down and we'll turn it into a rock song.
All right. Yeah. No, I would love to hear that. That sounds fucking awesome. Bring it. You know,
You will be so sad that he didn't die the first time.
He'll be sad that he didn't swallow Cocksure and the rest of us when it had the chance.
Right, well,
that'll learn him.
And Golden Throat shall sing ballads of this.
Golden Throat and Cocksure. Yes.
Everybody always chokes on the D.
That's the song. If you guys had a chance, if you leveled up in notoriety, you would have an opportunity to write a song about one of your adventures, and I think you just came up with the names.
Hey, for everyone in chat, we have played these same characters in a playtest like 87,000 times. Ivan will not let us level up, so don't let him tease you with this. With this, you'll eventually get a song bullshit.
Well, here's the deal. Actually, because we want to grow up on this a little bit.
Golden Throat pulled out a guitar.
Oh, there it is.
I'm composing the ballad. Go on. I'm thinking of it now.
I close my eyes and I choke away. Are we gonna get that was like 3 seconds, right?
All right, anyway.
I heard. No, you kill everything. That's why you're the ever weeping.
No.
Hold on. The sign of the Southern Cross, was that just the opening riff? The sign of Southern Cross, just a little bit.
No, I think it was actually it was a Boston song, I think.
Okay, cool. That's fair.
I think every ballad starts like this.
It's true. It does.
Oh my God. we already got copyright flag.
Yeah. Let me see. So I would normally want it to build notoriety up, but I haven't decided like how we want to scale up notoriety. I know what we're doing with resonance with the weapons items, but what's a cool, like, instead of experience points, what's a cool term that would go from going from notoriety 0, for example, to notoriety 1 to notoriety 2? What's like a nice intermediate term that would determine like between, because in this case, I would guarantee, just for fighting this worm and almost dying, I would normally just be like, okay, you're notoriety 1 now. Like you've done something cool. People know who you are. People are gonna at least remember the fuckers that got that worm in the goddamn ice caverns.
We'll take suggestions for that from the chat also.
Yeah, so blow up.
I got that.
Cred. maybe.
Cred's good. Cred's all right.
Really good.
Yeah.
Cred's good.
I'm down. So in this circumstance, what we would probably do is like, because we have to find out how it grows from each one. Like, how do you go from? Because with experience points, and one of the things I hate about experience points is that the milestones, like milestone leveling, is so much better. But I think in this circumstance, like being able to say, okay, there's milestones, but depending on what you fight or how you get into, I don't want to like shoehorn people into only doing milestones if they have no idea how to scale their encounters.
We got fame. We got rep.
Yeah, we did
Oh,
rep.
rep.
Yeah,
Rep's good.
Rep is good.
But is that different than resonance? So resonance would be weapons resonance. It's weapons weapons rep.
Renown.
No, like reputation.
Yeah, reputation. So
Renown.
Okay.
That's good.
let's
Fame.
try rep at the moment because I do like rep. Reputation, and then it should be on like a giant. It should probably be on like a band reputation kind of a situation. But what I would normally do in this circumstance is like, yeah, just decide like 10 out of 10 or something like that. Like trying to keep the numbers low, but it's still scalable. Let me think about it. No matter what, like we can all go to notoriety 1 in the next game, which does mean that you now can take another ability. And for some of you, it's actually when you start activating the really cool parts of your position as well. Like for howlers, let me see, for howlers, what it can do is go to my God, where are you at?
It also begs the question how you lose rep or cred.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the chance of doing that, but we've had that conversation of like, there's nothing less fun than a level drain. So I'm wary about losing rep unless like the band breaks up.
Good point.
Yeah.
You know
but
what I
you
mean?
already have real death in there. You know, it's like
Right.
Seriously.
Level draining sucks. All right. So for brutalizers, they get to pick a fighting style. For Blood Guards, they get to now have a divine focus. For Shredders, they get a favored instrument. So now when they're using like a favorite instrument, they could get some bonuses. Howlers, I think I wrote down here vocal range, which I think is like
that's cool.
Basically it's picking a domain for your summoning ability, right?
How many octaves you can
Like,
hit?
The one thing that I remember the most about, like, if we're gonna take it into the metal real world or whatever,
Yeah.
that the band Nitro, they claimed that their singer had a 6-octave range, which is like literally physically impossible. Like even Mariah Carey doesn't have that. But you know, in all the trades and like ads for their first album, it was
6-octave range.
Gillette has a 6-octave range.
Oh man.
I mean,
yeah,
okay.
so more range for
Your
how
dogs love him.
Yeah. Oh, dogs love him. Yeah.
That was awesome.
More range for howlers is so spot on. It's perfect.
Oh, Lauren has it. Exposure.
Exposure.
Or no, that's Nox. That's not. They both have purple text.
Nox said his exposure and an IMDb credit.
And an IMDb credit and a meal. No, I think
that's so real. That's so real.
Yeah.
I think exposure is what it needs to be. So, fuck. Well, everyone's gonna go to notoriety 1. They basically get to pick a new ability. They could pick a new ability or basically go up the tree on their current abilities. So all of you could now make your abilities, like I said, take that for you, Alex, if you wanted to take curse, and now just for 1 tribute, you can do curse 2. You know, so you can now curse for 2 rounds, 1 damage kind of a situation, like stuff like that, right? Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's what it is, and it can kill you. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I think unfortunately our time is up, but that was a great little play test, and like everything we do, it just gets better the more we do it, the more we figure it out.
That was fantastic.
Yeah. You guys defeat a butt worm, so
inside the butt.
Inside,
right? Inside it.
Yeah, that's how it is. But I've got some notes to write down, and I'm looking forward to like digging this into earlier. Thank you, Markia, for letting me be on your show. And thank you, everyone.
You're welcome, Ivan. You're never coming back. But you're welcome
Off
right now.
the show. And yeah, everyone, thanks for playing. This has been kind of our closed beta group. This has been the people like JB has said, they've been playing these characters for a while. I'm sure he's feeling very gratified that he's officially bullied me into getting you all to Notoriety 1 now.
You're welcome.
But
That's how you get things done in this company. Just bully Ivan until it happens.
But like Jason, Alex, Caleb, you're always great to have to banter around with this, and it's always really good. I'm looking forward to kind of like finding again the little things, and we're gonna do this again because more tests need to happen. I think it's been fun having all of you kind of watch it a little bit. So go spread the word, let people know, because when we're gonna this was kind of like this was a Notoriety 0 beta play test. We're not making a big deal about it. It's just out there, check it out. But we're looking forward to doing more and more and getting more out there and really like pushing this thing once we get closer to the Kickstarter. So
Excellent. And then also keep in mind on Tuesdays, you can see Hunters Presents if you just want more RPG action. Right now, we're doing Altered Carbon with the Osaka supplement, which has not been released. So you get to have like this great sneak preview into Osaka in the world of Altered Carbon. We have our same crew that was there with Outbreak Undead is taking on Osaka. And then also on Fridays 6 p.m. PT, join us on Hunters Gathering. We're going to have so many fun things like this, like a variety of different stuff that's coming up. And go ahead and subscribe. We have really fun emojis. We'll have more coming up as we structure our tiers to go forward, and it's also September, so you get a discount for just going ahead and subscribing. So we hope that you will subscribe here, but if not, also remember Jason Charles Miller has his own Twitch, and you can do
Mondays.
you can do Miller's Music Mondays. He's also the music producer for
fantastic.
Ragnarok Music that will be coming up with the Kickstarter. So
we're pushing JCM's soundtrack. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be so dope.
it's gonna be so good.
I can't wait.
It can't help it can't not be dope.
I know.
If you
There's so
like-
many plans, but
I won't stop until it's dope.
Yeah, don't stop until it's dope.
If
But
you like the look of this game, also go check out Caleb's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Caleb is drawing. You saw him
Oh, that's
a couple
correct.
weeks ago where he was drawing the art
He
for
actually
Carthusis.
he drew Carthusis for me, and that's where thanks to the chat that we discovered the piranha cape and the wolf boots and everything like that. So go ahead and check that out on VOD. The Hunters Gathering that we just had with Ivan Van Norman, where we went into Altered Carbon character creation, will be up on YouTube tomorrow, like YouTube and Twitch. I believe it might already be on Twitch for VOD.
It's on Twitch
if not,
immediately after the stream. Yeah.
everything will be up no later than tomorrow. But until then, we hope that you had such a great time hanging out with us. Obviously, we had the best of times.
I'm so glad to hear
best
that.
of rock times.
It was
Thank
the
you
best
so
of
much, everyone, for joining us. And we will catch you next Friday. Same Hunters time, same Hunters channel.
Woo! All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Magnificent.
Bye.